Hey guys, let me know if you can hear me because I have a different setup today and I just wanted to check. I don't have a microphone on these monitors, so I have to wear my headphones. So let me know if you guys can hear me and then we'll wait for others to join. Can you guys hear me? Amazing. Thank you, BRB Truck, and I appreciate it. Wonderful. Okay, now we get to wait a little bit. I know I'm a little bit early. I just needed to make sure that it works. Hey guys, happy Sunday. We'll talk about the market today. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. If I seem like I'm in a bad mood, I'm not. I just finished making a video that will be up tomorrow about venting about brokers again because I noticed a trend that is really pissing me off. And as I was making this video, I felt myself like got really mad. So I'm not mad at you guys. All right, what do we have? We have 4 minutes. 4 minutes is good. What's going on with produce? Hmm. I have a new cup today. Usually I have my red one, but now I have a really, really cool white one. Do I have good news today? I'm going to share with you what is going on in the market. It's interesting. On the surface level, it's very positive news, but if we dig deeper, it starts becoming like an issue. I don't know what is going on. It's all backwards. Yes, thank you, Transport King. Definitely. If I don't answer your question, just email me and I'll be happy to answer. Thank you, Jeremy. Hi, Mr. Texas. It is a wonderful Sunday, Philippe. It's beautiful. I finally have a view in my office, which which is nice. I get to look at palm trees and other buildings. Thank you, Transferred King. I really enjoy it. It's just really nice. It's nice. I get in the zone. I like it. I like it. Hi, Angel. Yes, Sean, new office. I am good, Trey. How are you? All right, before I start reading the chat, let's wait just a little bit to be fair to everyone else. In the meantime, I'm going to look at what is going on with produce season. But you guys, I mean, with produce, I know it's not really possible to do it with many other commodities, but with produce, thanks to the USDA, we can see how much shippers are paying on average to move those produce loads, and these are one pick, one drop. I mean, you see these rates and you realize that, wow, it's crazy. Still 2 minutes left. Where was I? Let me just. Okay, one more minute, guys, and we'll get started. I promise. Can you believe it? The average rate per mile for produce loads is $3.73 per mile. Is that not insane? I mean, in 2022, it was 4.96 per mile, but it's 3.73 per mile. That's what shippers are paying. Anyone getting 3.73 per mile, even out of California? Maybe to Washington, right? I'm seeing that to Washington, Oregon from California, you can get over $3 per mile, but I don't know. This market is really pissing me off. All right, it is 4:30 Eastern. Let's get started. Let's see, who did I miss here? Yes, Roger, I am recovered from being sick. I took my 10-day course of penicillin, which I've never taken before. It was always something else, some other antibiotic, but I am recovered. My little one, though, for some reason, I don't know what's going on. Like, he can't catch a break. Strep throat, then flu, then something else. It's just a mess. But anyway, do we have good news today? Let me tell you guys about what is happening in the market because it's really interesting. I mentioned it in Friday's video. I said that what's happening with the tender rejections is not getting reflected on the spot market for some reason. And again, I presented my two theories. Theory number one is that contract carriers who are getting their contracts renegotiated are seeing now their contracts are reflecting the current market situation, right? Before that, they were reflecting a really good market situation relatively. So theory one is that they're rejecting the freight, making the rejections go up, and then hitting the spot market and basically the capacity. There's too many trucks for too few loads. Someone said that it's the mega carriers that are booking off the spot market, which would make sense, right? The other theory was that the tender rejections very often happen before they are reflected on the spot market. Sometimes, usually it's like a few days before, sometimes it takes longer for it to be reflected on the spot market, which is what I'm hoping is the case. But to give you an idea, currently the tender rejection rate, I know it's still low, but it is 3.69%. So it's growing. It's growing without stop. Knock on wood, but we're not seeing it on the spot market at the moment. The volumes haven't changed from yesterday. So yeah, let's see. Thank you, No Clever Name. I enjoy it too. I like this office. Hello to everyone. Luis, you want to start a transportation business with cargo vans? Got it. Market, how much? So Hasib, how much can it average? We had one flatbed last month that almost made $40,000 gross. My husband keeps telling me I pronounce it weird. Gross. This month it's not going to be that much. We've had an interesting month. Yeah, we didn't work the whole month. The rates went down. It's not going to be a good month. I'm going to share it with you guys. I'm going to share everything with you guys, the rate per mile, what the gross is, what the net is, but it is not a good month. And on top of it, their attitudes are starting to, again, piss me off. You'll see it in tomorrow's video. I vent. Let's see. Is it a good time to buy a truck? I need to check the prices, what happened to them since last month. If I am not mistaken, they're still going down. I mean, I think they'll continue going down, right? I think the market itself, it's not a great time to get into the market. But I'll tell you something, on my Patreon, I release every single week a weekly capacity update. And I did that video today. I can see that the carrier sentiment is changing. Less and less carriers are voluntarily giving up their authority. So that makes me a little bit nervous. There is still a decrease in carrier populations, but less and less of them are voluntarily giving up their authority. Could be due to the fact that right now we're in a time where usually historically volumes start increasing, right? We have produce, then back to school, then the holidays, end of the year. Usually, historically speaking, it's the time where there's something going on in the trucking industry. Maybe that's what it is, but it's making me nervous that carrier sentiments are changing, despite the fact that the market is just on rocky ground at the moment, the spot market. Hi, Alan. Hooray, another Q&A. How do we sign up for Patreon? If you go to my website, truckingmadesuccessful.com, it's there, and you can sign up there. There are 3 tiers. The capacity one is the second tier. Samuel, my brother told me about this program. He wants to team up. What's a better deal, flatbeds or dry vans? You know, if you asked me a month ago, I would say stay away from dry vans. I know that dry vans are not doing good right now, but I see how quickly the flatbed market is changing over the past, from week 23 to 24. So from not last week, but the week before to last week, flatbed spot rates dropped by 5 cents, which was a huge drop. And now flatbed rates are trending under the 5-year average for the first time since the beginning of the year. Flatbed is extremely seasonal, and it's making me personally very nervous because we only operate flatbeds at this point. And I understand that this is going to come to a screeching halt sooner or later. I can see how the market is changing. It's crazy. So dry vans or flatbeds? Yes, at the moment, flatbeds will be paying better, but I don't know how long it will last, if that makes sense. How many miles can a truck last up until? Depends on how well you maintain it, right? In my experience, Freightliners, this is the only type of truck we operate. Freightliners, the moment they hit 500,000 miles is the moment everything starts kind of going wrong, and you have to invest a ton of money into maintenance and repairs. Part of the reason we're not doing well this month, especially net, is because we had to invest 14 grand into repairs. I'm completely clueless when it comes to trucks. What was it called? It was it was a D word. It was I forgot what it's called, but it cost us 14 grand. It's horrible. Riding with Kev. Congratulations. Yes, I have moved to a new office. And Mr. D works here as well, for those of you who know Mr. D. He's always here during the week. That's why there's a bone there and his stuff there. I don't have my, Flow Rider. He's not here right now. Happy Sunday. Flatbed and reefer rates. I don't remember. See, my memory is not good. I have really, really bad memory, but let me see what it was as of last week. Mercury. Mercury Insurance. There we go. Video rates, flatbed rates. So as of week 24, flatbeds average $2.60 per mile, and reefer loads average $2.35.40 per mile. This is the spot rates. $3.73. That's nuts. Yeah, no, it is absolutely nuts. $3.73, right? Yeah, $3.73 per mile. It's crazy. Happy Sunday. Which of your videos would you recommend that cover setting up trucking company? So if you're looking to get your MC, I have a video. It's I think it's called Getting Your Authority. It's one of the oldest videos I have on this channel. And then Yeah, I have some videos about how to stay compliant, like with taxes to file and when to file them. But the detailed one is actually my carrier course, my care how to set up a trucking company course. Hi, Mojo. You have people taking anything off the load boards. Yeah, that's especially true right now. I mean, again, we only started up. We are in a situation where we only operate flatbeds at the moment, and when we started, it was a very different situation. And now, I mean, you can see it by broker attitudes, right? You can see it by broker attitudes. Really crap loads are being booked right away. It's infuriating. So, yeah, it's getting harder and harder to book flatbed freight. And again, you will see how much rates dropped. And you know me, I wait. I have no issues waiting for a good load. So, yeah, the produce in my city doesn't look very good, doesn't look healthy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about produce in that sense, so I wouldn't know what healthy produce looks like, but I think that's the same problem in California. Hi, Rabbi. Guys, did you hear? I know it's completely off topic. Did you hear about the Titan submersible? Was anyone else except for me like, I don't know, it got under my skin for some reason. It's so off topic. I apologize. Mike Alexander, you need money? Me too. Happy Sunday, Aaron. What do you think would be an average tender rejection rate at this time of year? I mean, I can give you numbers. I can compare it to prior years. So why don't we do that? Let me just log into my Sonar. So currently it's what was it? 3.69%, which is extremely low. And hold on, my Sonar has to, it's ridiculous. It's like 200 steps to verify that it's me. Apologies. One moment, please. Let's see. Let's do the seasonal one. And I have data only from 2018, but just to give us an idea of what is happening. Autry. Okay. Gonna remove Clav. And we're going to do a seasonal view. Come on. Display 5 years. So full year. There we go. One moment, it's loading. Okay, so currently let's say 3.7. In 2018, this time 13.45. 2019, this time 5.89. 2020, this time, let's see, where's 2020? I apologize. 2018 was 25.29. My apologies. 2020 was the like 13 point something percent. 2021, 24.66%. And 2022 was 7.79%. So we are at the lowest point in terms of tender rejections as of right now in 5 years. It's climbing, but it's not reflecting on the spot market yet. Hello, everybody. We need to keep fighting to stay alive. I'm jumping from dry van to car carrier. Oh, very interesting. So I'm very curious about car carriers because my business partners and I were thinking about experimenting, right? I'm not an experimenter. I forgot my thing to wipe my glasses, whatever. I'm not an experimenter. I wear suspenders with a belt, right? I am the youngest partner in our two companies, and I act like I'm the oldest. I'm scared of everything. My business partners, they really want to try car hauling, but it scares me for some reason. Probably because I don't know anything about it. So, yeah. Let us know, Kenyon, how it goes. And is it true that for car haulers, some of the payment is done in cash? Something I heard. I'm very curious. No, clever name. Yes, it's not volumes. It's actually tender rejections. Tender rejections tend to trend a little bit before. I mean, what happens with tender rejections hits the spot market only within 3 days to a week usually. The reason is once the load goes through the process of rejection, it takes a little bit of time for it to actually end up and translate into spot volume. The thing that is happening right now, we saw it happen in 2020, I believe, where tender rejections were increasing weeks before the spot market reacted. We're seeing that right now. But the problem is, I don't know why it's happening. I don't know why tender rejections are increasing and spot rates are decreasing. I'm very curious to see what the average spot rate is going to be as of this past week, because I want to see if it's finally translating. Mm. So I'm not familiar with cross-border freight. We do not do cross-border freight. But if anyone knows, um, so just so you know, you guys, I'm not ignoring your questions, just for everyone to be on the same page. I do not know much about sorry, cargo vans, sprinter vans, box trucks, hot shots. I teach from experience, and my experience is only semi trucks, and I can tell you pretty much everything that I know. I don't know everything. I can tell you a lot about flatbeds, reefers, and dry vans. I am not familiar with box trucks, cargo vans. I've never operated those. That's a very different animal. I'm also not familiar with cross border freight because we have not done it. We're interstate, but we do not haul cross border. So if I'm not answering that question, it's just because this is not my area of expertise. I'm not ignoring you, I promise. um, Hasib, excellent question. Do we do regular flatbed or step deck? And do we get more with 48 or 53? We do flatbeds. We don't have step decks. We were thinking of doing a step deck, but to be honest, in the current market, we had the opportunity because we just onboarded a team member who is fantastic. He's amazing. I wish he could be cloned. And he is on our 53-foot flat. So, my business partner, we had to figure out what we're going to do, either a 53-foot step or 53-foot flat. And when I started looking, first of all, the step deck costs more. It was like $200 more per month than a flatbed. And considering that I'm not familiar with that type of equipment, none of us are, we decided not to take the risk yet, not in this market. So we went for a 53-foot flat. In terms of 48 versus 53, I would say you do get a little bit more, you get, it's not much of a difference, but there are maybe one or two loads that you can grab that a 48-foot flatbed can't. And they do sometimes pay higher, especially if you're good at waiting. Yeah. Salinas, California. I remember we used to run only in California with our reefer for a while. It was in 2021. We used to run in California, just 1 day loads, and then those from California to Utah, it used to pay a ton of money. And then from Utah, an ice cream load by Global Trans to, um, where was it? It wasn't Tucson. I don't remember, to Arizona, basically next to Phoenix, Arizona, to that Kroger. Is it Kroger? That horrible place? that you only deliver at night and where they always have a crazy lumper fee, but the rates were something else. That was fun. How many trucks are in your fleet? We currently have 5 with, hold on, but we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 4 with 1 coming at the end of this month and another one coming at the end of the year. So 6 almost. Uh, do we have a headache rack? No, we do not. We do not. Whoop. If a person has their own authority, is it best to scale by leasing on truckers? It's a very interesting business model. So, this is a business model that just became available to us. Even though we're in California and even though there's AB5, we found a way to be able to do that. So, I'm very curious. Yes, leasing on operators, if you're doing it by the book, like I like to do things. The operator should have their own truck, preferably their own trailer, right? So you don't have that upfront expense to expand your fleet. So it's an interesting business model. I'm very curious to give it a go. I think we will be doing that soon. We're just trying to figure out like compensation and all of that at the moment, but we will be leasing on. And once we do, I will of course share it with you guys what the experience was like because I'm guessing it's a little bit different than hiring a W-2, right? Senya, you're blocked. Congratulations. Oh, you guys keep it clean. I'm serious. I am a patient person, and 99.9% of you are amazing people. But if you start making comments that are absolutely unprofessional, I will block you. You will never be able to post on this channel. Okay? And again, I'm talking to the 0.1% that I just blocked. Please give some reviews about the reefers in this market. Excellent question. So I wish I had some personal experience for reefers in this market. Currently, we're only operating flatbeds. From what I saw from last week, you know what? Let me just remind myself. Let me open all of those documents and see reefer volumes. There we go. Yeah, reefer volumes is what is really, really freaking me out. The volumes are either staying the same or decreasing when during this time of year, usually they're increasing because of produce. It's not really happening. In terms of where to go, it looks like Idaho is an interesting place now, but California, Fort Worth, and Idaho, those are the 3 markets. The problem with pretty much all equipment types, right? It's true for flatbeds as well, is that you are now limited in terms of which markets you can and cannot go to. That becomes a really big problem. And one thing that I also take into consideration with flatbed, for example, we know that the South is one of the better areas to stick to, right? We have Fort Worth, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, South Carolina are okay. They're all close together. So you can deadhead. But for reefer, there's California, there's Texas, there's Idaho. The deadhead between those places is interesting. Let's see. Reefer is doing good long haul. Yeah, so from California, I saw that the rates in California are pretty good. Rates in California are pretty decent, or out of California relative to other places. How can you get in touch with me? Send me an email to talkabouttrucking@gmail.com. I never, so be honest, I never said we're stuck with the flatbed. No, we're renting those flatbeds. We can change at any time. But I learned to really, really like that equipment type. I learned to really like that equipment type, and I would hate for that. You know why I like flatbed? Because of the lack of appointments. It's like first come, first serve everywhere. But if it starts going down, it'll just be a bummer. Do I think the rates will rise much higher next year? It depends on what happens um, with capacity. Currently, capacity is leaving. I'm really curious to see capacity and volumes, right? We have two sides of the supply and demand equation if we're working off the spot market. That's what we rely on, supply and demand. If we have too much capacity, then obviously the rates will go down. But currently, what I'm seeing is that volumes are getting rocky as well. I see capacity leaving. There is a negative net change in carrier populations week over week since April. I started tracking that weekly data since April. There has not been a single week where there was an increase in carrier, net increase in carrier populations. The issue is, even if capacity decreases, and we will say that other carriers are not soaking up those that just went out of business or shut down their authority. If volumes start decreasing at the same time, that becomes an issue. So it all depends. We're kind of up in the air right now. We're waiting to see what happens next. Hi, Ron. Let's see. Good question. Do my guys have as much patience waiting for loads? My business partners, yes. With our team members, we try to cut that time, of course. But if we have to wait, we have to wait. With our new team member, what we are doing, because for the flatbed, we were offering either 70 cents per mile or 28% of gross. So what we're doing with him now is we're sending him. He decided to go on a cents per mile basis, but we're still sending him every single rate confirmation so he can see and make a decision. He said that he was unsure about the rate per mile or cents per mile basis, so we decided to send him that. Now, if he decides to go to the 28% of gross, then it really won't matter the time it takes to book the load, right? Because it no longer depends on miles, it depends on what we can negotiate and get out of the broker's pocket into our own. How to find owner operators to work under RMC. You know what? Let me move you guys here. It's so much easier. I'm like cranking my neck. How to find owner operators. Have you ever tried the truckers report? It's really been a huge help for me in finding company drivers. I've never before, like now, tried to look for owner operators because of the AB5 law, but try the truckers report. Can anyone get a Sonar account, and is it free? Yes, anyone can get it, pretty much. I don't believe they ask for your MC. Is it free? It is not. We pay $8,000 a year, but you can break it up into quarterly payments. Let's see. So yeah, guys, if you want to get in touch, just send me an email to talkabouttrucking@gmail.com. In DAT load board, most of the time, the same brokers every time. What do you mean? Like, I know TQL will post a ton of loads there, but I can't say that I see the same brokers over and over. I was actually surprised. Last week, I saw a lot of brokers, and these are not new MCs. These are existing MCs that have been there for a while that I did not recognize. Major cell phone tower outage. I heard the heat is unbearable in Texas, from what I hear. Which has better deals in dedicated, flat or dry vans? Excellent question. We work solely off the spot market. We tried to build relationships with direct shippers, but what ended up happening is we are too small of a carrier to be able to consistently provide capacity to those shippers. So it's very hard to build a relationship um, when you can't really offer any capacity on a consistent basis, at least. Sakuvan, from your comment to God's ears. I mean, we shall see. We shall see. I know that if I'm not mistaken, I actually didn't check for like 2 weeks now, but isn't August the time where that student debt starts hitting everyone's wallets? Everyone has to start repaying it. And from what I remember, it's an average of $402 per month less in the consumer's pockets, which is making me a little bit nervous. We need that consumer demand to stay strong, if possible. Let's give car hauling a try. I've been thinking about it. Yeah, I mean, again, I am the we're like my business partners and I, we go perfectly together because I'm the one who's always screaming no. No matter what they ask me, I'll say no, it's not possible. Now I'm also the one who actually gets it to be possible, but they are the ones who have the courage, right? Courage. I'm the one who wears suspenders with a belt. So their courage paired with my, yeah, whatever, with me being scared of everything in terms of expanding and taking risks, it goes perfectly together because I'm not the only decision maker. We make decisions together. But car hauling is something that I'm really, I mean, I'm sure my business partners will convince me. There's no other way. God willing, the market will flip. If it doesn't get better by middle of July, it's not going to get better. I don't know. I wish I had a crystal ball to predict. Wouldn't that be nice? Where was I? I just skipped somewhere. Spot rates are kept down by brokers the way I think of it. Of course, of course. I mean, brokers, they currently have as much as, I mean, realistically, yes, brokers cannot have a business without carriers. But if we look at the current situation, brokers, for the most part, have the upper hand because they have 101 trucks to choose from for their one crappy load. And of course, they're going to do everything to keep the rates down. The only thing that will change that, there are two things that can change that. If capacity stays the same as it is right now, but volumes skyrocket, then there are more loads than there are trucks. Brokers will have to start paying more. If the volumes stay the same as they are right now, but capacity starts rapidly decreasing, there are more loads than trucks, so brokers will have to start paying more. That's what we need to happen, right? One of those things. Manuel, what to do if you're leased to a company that does not send you the original rate con, but a rate generated by them? I would have a conversation with them. I do not, I mean, I understand why some carriers don't want to be transparent. I don't agree with it. Someone emailed me a week ago saying that they have the same problem and they actually caught the carrier lying about the rate. I'm sorry. Um, wow. Sorry. Yes, someone emailed me about the carrier lying about the rate, and the owner operator found out about it. So the advice I gave him is maybe you could ask the carrier to ask the broker to CC you on the email when the rate confirmation is sent. This is something that I plan to do personally when I start leasing on owner operators. That way, there's no question. But for me, transparency is the most important thing. So I think that would be an interesting way to know exactly how much the carrier is getting paid. You get you get cash at delivery. So yeah, that's what I heard about car haulers. Mm, where'd I go? Mm. Um, sorry, I'm trying to find my place. Everybody knows about that Kroger's. Yeah, it's an interesting place. Their lumber fees are insane, and they always unload like in the middle of the night, and they always take forever to unload. But those rates in 2021 were so good. We're talking about the loads that used to go from Utah to Arizona, near Phoenix, Arizona, to Kroger, ice cream loads for reefers. They used to pay an insane amount of money. Yes, I purposely put the chat on slow mode because that gives me a chance to really keep up. I'm sorry, guys, one moment. There we go. Um, Better to buy outright or finance? Love that question. It's interesting, right? There are pros and cons to each. On one hand, if you finance, you're paying, regardless of what kind of interest rate you are getting, you're paying way more for that truck than it's worth. On the other hand, no huge problem with cash flow. Another thing about financing, some people just say, what is happening with my hair? These headphones. Some people disagree with me on this, but I'll give you an example. Our first truck that we ever bought for our original company, we bought it cash. We did not finance. We did not want to pay for that interest rate. And because it was just myself and my business partner, we decided that we'll get everything, but we're not going to get physical damage insurance. We decided that we'll take the risk. We are not going to do physical damage. It will be fine. And we save money that way. The moment you finance, you have to get physical damage insurance no matter what. On the other hand, cash payment. Yes, on one hand, you don't have to get physical damage insurance. You don't have to pay extra for that interest. On the other hand, you're out cash flow, right? Cash flow is a huge thing in this industry. You're out hundreds of thousands of dollars right away. And number two, you do not build a credit score. And if you want to continue expanding your business, you will need at some point, I'm guessing, to finance. Um, you do not build a credit score by paying cash. So it's like you have to think about what is important to you. What camera do you use? I just got a camera. What the heck is it called? Hold on. Yeah, it's a pretty good camera, but the microphone on it is horrible, therefore the headphones. Uh, it's something on N. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you guys. I'm here to answer questions. Um, it was the Nexi Go camera. It's pretty good. The monitors don't have a camera, so I was forced to. Yeah. Do you think it's a good idea to start a company but not start yet? I think that's what you meant, David. Um, you mean get an MC? If you get an MC, you have, I mean, technically you have to get insurance to activate your MC as quickly as possible, but realistically, you have up to a year to get all of that on file for your authority not to be permanently dismissed, where you'll have to pay that $300 fee again. I think it's more important. You know what I would recommend? I would recommend get your DOT number. There is no activation of it. Get a DOT number, let it age, because many insurance companies, I keep saying Progressive is one of them, they will not hire, they will accept new drivers, but they will not accept new ventures. So they will need a DOT number that is over a year old, and then you can work with them. This is just one of the insurance companies. So get a DOT number. There's no activation, nothing. And then let it age. And when you're ready, get your MC number. Will they grant authority before you file IFTA? Yeah, yeah. So to activate your authority, you just need insurance, BOC3 on file. You have to pay the UCR fees. And then in order to get your apportioned license plates, right, to get IFTA, you have to get those in order to actually be able to operate. Yes, on one hand, you have your MC, but you cannot do much without apportioned license plates if you're doing interstate. IFTA, right, and those state permits if you're traveling through states like Kentucky, New York, Oregon, and New Mexico. Yes, this is an actual office. As you can see, there are other offices there. There's a way to lease onto your company if I live in Cali. No, unfortunately not. So I talked to I finally got an email from the labor commissioner's office, and they said, my theory was that we can lease on, and the AB5 law will not apply to us if we lease on someone who is not based in California and never enters the state of California. So I cannot, unfortunately, lease on anyone who is based in California. And whoever does end up getting leased on cannot come to California, which is probably a blessing. Most people don't want to come here. The roads are terrible and everyone is super strict, and the speed limit is 55. The wait stations suck here too. So I am going to, I see some questions being repeated, so I'm going to not answer those. This video, this live, it will be recorded, so you guys can watch it, and I have answered some questions. So I'm not ignoring you. I just, I don't want to answer the same questions just to be able to get to as many people as possible. I do not dispatch outside carriers. I only dispatch my own fleet, and this is because of time. I literally have no time for anything. I kind of overextended myself at this point, but I'm too stubborn to quit any one part of what I decided to do. So I'm making a conscious decision not to overextend myself even further. Maybe in the future, when I can delegate more, yes. Northeast is trash for reefers. Yeah, I was double checking the rates for reefers out of what was it? I think it was either Baltimore, Maryland or Philly, and the rates were just horrific, just horrible. But you can see that I'm looking at the map, the volume and tender rejection map, and you can see that there are no tender rejections. I mean, yeah, the volumes are relatively okay, but I think I said this in videos. I always remember Pennsylvania as being the market where there is a ton of freight and nothing to choose from. And if God forbid you do not book your load before like 10 o'clock in the morning, you're done in Pennsylvania. That's what I remember. And I think it's true for, or it was true for dry vans as well. Yes, exactly, Dave. Um, Blue Jay Solutions. Why does that sound very familiar? It sounds familiar, but I can't pinpoint it. Whoops, where did I go? Mm, oh, there we go. Um, no, I skipped something. All right. Do you still do your own dispatching or did you hire someone? I still do my own dispatching and I have a coworker who is actually a family member. We work together. Yeah. That's her computer there. Few people have this transparency with drivers. Yeah, that's a big problem. One of the things that really pissed me off about carriers, I mean, about everything in this industry, is the lack of transparency, right? They always talk about driver turnover. It's a huge problem. Of course, they try to also push that there is a lack of drivers, which is crap. But driver turnover is a huge problem. And part of the problem is that carriers, they don't do anything to earn the trust of of their employees. So transparency is something that is super important. Yeah. ET13, yes, I did. I do have that. I post it every single month. Usually either at the end of the month, but more often I post those monthly reports at the beginning of the next month. So I posted it at the beginning of June. No clever name. Oh, it's in October? I thought it was in August. See, I didn't read about it for a few weeks. The last time I read about it, I remember it was August, so they pushed it back. That's good. Tornado warning. Oh my God, Texas has been hit with so many. When was this? This was a week ago? Last Friday? No, not this past Friday, but the Friday before there was a tornado. Oh, the weather is amazing. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it. Car hauling, car hauling. How's the insurance with car hauling? I was always curious because the insurance must be much more expensive, I'm guessing. And also, question for you guys. See, I learned from you as well. There are the open car haulers, right? And then there are the closed ones. They kind of look like really, really fancy drive-ins. And I'm guessing those are for luxury cars. Has anyone been that specific in their operations in terms of hauling luxury cars with that huge, very like sits very low on the ground? Those are really cool trailers. But I'm guessing the insurance is insanely expensive. Aaron, I'm a new authority. What rate should— oh, I just lost you. You asked about the rate. What rate should you accept? Um, don't ever settle for the rate that's on the load board, and always negotiate. I mean, it's hard to say which rate you should accept without knowing where you are, what type of equipment, and all of that. But two pieces of advice: never settle for the rate posted on the load board, and always negotiate. The market will get better if Putin takes a chill pill. That he's never going to take a chill pill. That guy has lost his marbles officially. Don't get me started about him. I could go on all day. Ron, unfortunately, I can't. I wish I could. I made a video, another venting video about brokers that's coming out tomorrow. Yeah, there's something new happening, which is really, really making me angry. It's really pissing me off. Thoughts on electric trucks? Interesting question. So, for those of you who have watched my videos for a while, you know that I'm absolutely obsessed with Teslas. Adore Elon Musk because of how he built his business, right? This is someone that I just like his courage because I lack it in terms of being risk taking in business. I just admire him in that sense. Love the Teslas. I think that the Tesla Semi, it's just not the time for it. It's not going to go anywhere. I made a video about electric trucks. There is no infrastructure available for electric trucks to be able to replace diesel trucks at the moment. It's an interesting idea, but even the Tesla Semi, I mean, it has so many issues. Watch my video. I have the Tesla truck video. Nate, when we start leasing on, I'll still be the one dispatching. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'll still be the one dispatching. So I'm not sure if I answered you, Bill, or someone else. We cannot, even though the AB5 law, we found a loophole. We cannot lease on anyone who is in California, sadly, because AB5 is a state law. If you live in California, AB5 applies to you, as an independent contractor. So you cannot be an independent contractor. If you are, for example, from, I don't know, Memphis, Tennessee, the moment you enter California, the AB5 law applies to you. California is one of those states, it's like an octopus, has its tentacles everywhere. The moment you enter California, AB5 starts applying to you. So when we start leasing on, it's going to have to be owner operators who are not in California and who will not be entering into California. MS, I agree with you. I think that's also part of the reason it scares me. I remember, I mean, I see these car haulers on these tiny streets, right? And our policy as a company, we do not send anyone to places like downtown Chicago. New York is off limits, right? Try to avoid places like Baltimore. Basically, where a semi truck is not supposed to go, we do not send anyone there to pick up or deliver. And with car haulers, it seems like you have no other choice because a lot of these are in residential areas that are packed tight together. Hmm. Don't ever lease purchase. It's a scam. I agree. What rate do you expect for flatbed next 3 months? I am not sure. I'm not sure. Honestly, it's scaring me. Just looking at how much it is falling and how quickly, it's freaky. It's scary to just see how quickly flatbed is dropping. Actually, if you look the FTR charts that I show regarding the spot market and you see the total spot volumes and total spot rates, the rates went down so much, the total ones, because of the flatbed. The flatbed is dragging those rates down currently. The way we do it, I see Transport King said try to stay above $2 per mile if possible. The way, like, our policy has always been, or we tried to make it $2 per mile minimum with deadhead and no less than $1,000 per day. Now, what do I mean $1,000 per day? If you pick up a load this morning and deliver it tomorrow morning, that's 1 day because tomorrow you're grabbing another load. So that load has to pay a minimum of $1,000. If you're picking a load up this morning and delivering tomorrow evening, that's a 2 day load because tomorrow evening you're not getting anything. So $2,000. Does that make sense? This is something that we have been following since 2019. It's very important. It hasn't always worked, especially with dry vans like a few months ago when they completely went to doo doo. Now dry vans are a little bit better than when we quit them. Yeah, I don't know what it is, Kenyon. I just that submarines, the submersible story, it really got to me. I don't know what it is. First of all, I mean, I know what it is partially. I'm obsessed with the Titanic. I know the movie by heart as well. I'm obsessed with the Titanic, and I think it's the idea that the last time there was, death there was in 1912, and now we're in 2023, and this kind of crap happens. It just I mean, I don't know. It just got to me. Mm, 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 mm. Whoops. Where was I? Um, where was I? Where was I? Eastern European Israeli. I'm half Ukrainian, half Georgian, but I do know kesef in Hebrew. I know shalom, pretty much. Need to read the bottom comments. Yeah, I know. I know I'm always delayed. Yeah. If I go down to the bottom, then I'll lose everyone else in the middle. So I'm just going to try to go through these as quickly as possible. Um, In regards of insurance, experienced driver but new venture, would that make a difference? Yes. You'll have to shop around for insurances because they will find any reason to hike up those rates. They'll find any reason to hike up those rates, right? But the fact that you have experience, of course, will be beneficial. How are the rates looking? Not great at the moment for all three equipment types, flatbeds, dry vans, and reefers. Rates are not great. The kind of, how do I call it? Tender rejections are increasing. They're increasing, increasing, increasing. Tfu, tfu, tfu. Knock on wood. That's great. But it's not translating to the spot market at the moment. Philippe answered the question about electric trucks. What is a good capacity to have that shipper that can depend on you? Um, it depends on the shipper. I mean, as many trucks as required to provide consistent capacity. More and more drivers are losing their jobs every day. Armando, you know what? Yeah, I saw I mean, it was like 2 weeks ago, the jobs, new hires stopped kind of. You know what I need to start looking at? And I encourage you guys who are interested in data to do the same, to figure out whether capacity is increasing or decreasing. Look at the drug and alcohol, what is the clearinghouse data from the FMCSA, because as carriers, we are required by law, every person that we hire, we have to do a background check in the clearinghouse. So if we see that more and more people are doing background checks in the clearinghouse, we can assume that jobs are still increasing. That's an interesting way to figure out whether the capacity that is leaving the market, the carriers who are losing their authority or giving up their authority, whether they're getting soaked up by the bigger carriers. Aha. How do new trucking companies get loads? We have always worked off the spot market. So from day one, I was booking from the DAT load board. Direct shippers, I have a video on that. So if you go to, it was just like a week ago, how to find direct shippers, that's one of the ways you can do it. Oh, there we go. Transport can answer that. Mm, Sasha, glory to Ukraine. Yeah. Героям слава. Mm. Whoa. And we're down again. Where was I? Yeah, I have no idea where I was. Anas Musa brokers aren't the problem. Well, actually, yeah, they are. I'm sorry to say this. I told you, let's do a live together. I know that you're camera shy, as you tell me, but I think a lot of people would have questions. I have a question. I have a question. I'm going to release a video tomorrow that is mind boggling to me. Why is it that brokers that I have built a relationship with for 4 years are telling me they can't work with me just so that I find out just 10 minutes later after calling them back that they can? Why is it that brokers are doing that? That is my biggest question at the moment. I'm not saying all brokers are the problem. They're not. I'm not trying to lump everyone into the same boat. But I do wonder what is wrong with some brokers. Are they just lazy? Are they basing their decisions on their mood? I just don't understand them. I mean, you'll see the video tomorrow. I get supply and demand. This is a free market. But the unprofessionalism, right? And this is not a one time occurrence. I built a relationship with a broker. This is just one example. Built a relationship with a broker. And all of a sudden, I get some guy I've never talked to before who says, MC, oh, yeah, we can't work with you. What? I just held a load for you last week with clean bills, on time pickup, on time delivery. Yeah. Not all brokers are the problem, but some are. Let's be fair. Have I thought about becoming a broker? Yeah, there was a time, but I decided not to pursue it. Do I have dogs or cats? Dogs. Cats, I'm very allergic to. Like I start, my eyes become like this, like golf balls, and I can't breathe. Oops. I have never been to a casino. So I saw. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I have experience with some direct shippers, but this was by accident. Hold on one sec. It's killing me. Hopefully, you guys can still hear me. I have some experience with direct shippers, but this was completely by accident. It was shippers who posted directly on the load board, and you get set up with them just like you would with a broker, pretty much. That's my experience. Lease to purchase programs, I think it's a interesting idea in theory, but I think that a lot of carriers are using that against owner operators. Mm. Dave, I know that's the worst part. The moment you file for your authority, the moment that um, uh, what is it called? URS system gives you that DOT number, within literally 5 seconds, you start getting bombarded with those phone calls. Yeah, just hang up. No stress, Bill. All good. Uh, At least those poor people didn't suffer. Yeah, no, 100%. We're talking about that Titan submersible. Yeah, no, 100%. But I just remember just sitting and thinking, okay, they're still alive. They're running out of oxygen. And I was absolutely sure they'd get found and they would get saved. Yeah. I mean, they didn't feel anything, of course. Well, it's just a bad situation. Insurance is very high for the 2 million minimum. See, yeah, that's what I heard, car haulers. It's interesting. The insurance starts going up quite a bit, but the money's better too, from what I hear. Uh, what risk and challenges should I anticipate when entering the trucking industry? You mean from the business side? The challenge is having enough cash flow. This is a business. Cash flow is important in every business, but this is the one thing that you have to always be very mindful of, because what we have to remember, unless you're using a factoring company, and even if you're using a factoring company, you have to remember that factoring costs you money. If you're not, brokers usually pay within 30 days, but your expenses, and their big expenses, are due today. So cash flow is something to always be mindful of. Another thing is start getting set up with brokers. If you have an MC already, right, but you're not ready to operate, I mean, it has to be active, but you're not ready to actually sit in the truck and go, start trying to get set up with brokers already. That's what I did. When we opened our first company, before our truck was even ready, our MC was active, everything was good. But before we were ready to run, I started getting set up with as many brokers as possible. The way you do that, just go to Google and type in, I don't know, TQL carrier packet. It will give you the website. That's what I did. You have to figure out which brokers will work with you if you have a new authority. That is going to be an interesting little challenge. It's not impossible to find brokers who will work with you. It's just harder than it was, at least in 2019 when we started. Did I say 2009 before? I meant 2019. How do I feel about the customer broker being able to dictate the rates of what they're going to pay the owner operator? I think that it's ridiculous. I think that it's ridiculous because everywhere else, you hire, I don't know, let's say I hire a gentleman to help me move those plants, right? He tells me the rate he's going to charge. And then it's my job to just go and get other quotes and choose. He tells me how much he's going to charge me. So, yeah, I think it's ridiculous. But something that I've learned from an article I read just a month ago is that shippers, some of them, I mean, they care about carrier relationships, but some of them, they feel like this is their time for revenge from what they had to go through in 2021. Shippers were paying a ton of money for transportation. We all know that. It wasn't really the brokers who were suffering, it was the shippers. And now they're kind of saying that it's our turn to get revenge, which is, I mean, human nature. Do you think that things will get so bad? No. The question is, do you think that things will get so bad that that you will only have to haul for less than the cost? No, because then what is it called? Then every business principle applies. If more and more carriers are hauling at cost or below cost, more and more carriers are losing money and getting out of the business. As soon as that happens, capacity decreases, right? And that's how the cycle begins of rates starting to go up. I don't care what your background, good people are good people, 100%. Where did I go? Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate it. Um, Yeah, I got the Dun and Bradstreet. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I have one. I didn't know that we needed one, but I have one. And yes, that's the way you build business credit. It's a way to also look at who did an inquiry on your business credit and what it's like. Yeah, I would recommend getting it. I would recommend getting it. Absolutely. And thank you. I appreciate it. Now, where was I? Where I don't know where I was. Hmm. So Anas Musa. Yeah, I mean, it's not my questions, right? The reason I want you to be on the live, so for everyone wondering, Anas Musa, he's a carrier and a broker. And what I would love to do is to get him on a live. Doesn't have to be, I'm sure there's a way to do it where it's without a camera. You don't have to be on camera, but maybe just so we can hear your voice. It's not my questions per se. I think everyone has their own questions to brokers regarding what is happening right now and what is motivating brokers and what is important to them, right? I think brokers and carriers are so, um, like, they're foes at this point, right? And I think it would be beneficial to understand both sides. So if you're open, I don't want to do like a questions in an email and then relay it in the video. But if you're open to doing even a voice thing on live, on live, I think that would be awesome. You let me know. Yeah, Stephen, absolutely. So something I'm realizing is brokers will, I mean, they will wait until the last minute to start raising rates. Like if a load is picking up until 3, let's say you have a flatbed, they will only start raising rates at 2:35. Am I fluent in Russian? And what is my favorite Ukrainian Russian food? I am I mean, sort of. English is my first language. Some people think that it's not. English is my first language. My father spoke English to me from the moment I was born. And I went to an American school. Yes, I speak Russian. I can't say it's as good as my English. I make a ton of mistakes, but I do understand it. And food is my favorite food is Georgian. And I don't speak Georgian. I'm half Georgian. Satsivi. Oh my god, satsivi is so good. It's basically chicken in this sauce with oh my god, it's so good. But I guess vareniki is good. It's basically dumplings with it can be with potatoes or with cherries. Also good. You know what, Ron? That's an excellent thought. It's probably because they don't want to negotiate with someone who knows their thing. Yeah. So the reason Ron said this is because we were talking about why is it that brokers I have worked with for years are telling me they can't work with me. They are like, Give me your MC." Oh yeah, we can't work with you, and it turns out to be a lie every single time. So I was trying to figure out what is going on. The thing is, Ron, this happens before I even start negotiating. You'll see in the video, I actually even have emails. For one broker, I have emails that I'm going to share in the video tomorrow. I'm not going to be showing who these brokers are. I'll explain why, but I'll share the receipts of how it goes down. Most were over the phone, but there was one that this happened via email. And this is before any negotiation happens. Although the one on the email, yeah, I asked for more money right off the bat. Mark Brown, some brokers. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I understand. Look, I'm not even going to say I don't want to lump every single. It's just unfair to say that all brokers are horrible. There are good players, there are bad players, and of course, we tend to talk mostly about the ones that are unfair to us. Or after all, people write reviews only when they're bad, or for the most part, right? I understand that not all brokers are the same. I even understand that a brokerage cannot be judged from one broker you have worked with because I have worked. Who was it? Okay, so I really enjoy working with Paradigm. They're part of R&R Express. They have been fair every single time. And I would never let one broker from there, just ruin it for me because all other times they were great. But it also depends on how they ruin it. Again, just watch the video tomorrow. You'll get it. The one broker, I have to say, the one broker that I have never had a problem with that consistently negotiates is always just a pleasure to work with, Molo Solutions. Every single time. Maybe I have just been lucky every single time, regardless of what is happening in the market. It can be a place where there are so many trucks and two loads. They have always negotiated, been open to negotiations. And yeah, the one broker I can't stand in terms of negotiations is Ryan. It's Ryan, not RTS. Ryan Transportation, Ryan. Every time you call them, they will tell you, "That's all I'm getting from my customer." Are you kidding me? Sorry. I should not be talking about brokers right now. I get, like, angry. So, Stella Blue, I answered your question about the below operating costs. Um, we have about I don't know, we're fine on time. Yes, I ended. We were late. You had a broker try and deduct $400 saying that you were late when there was no specific time for delivery on RateCon. Yeah, if something to note, that rate confirmation is your contract. If there's nothing on the rate confirmation in terms of time or, anything like that, that broker cannot deduct anything. And one thing I'm going to advise to all of you, I got an email, it's heartbreaking. I just got it literally a week ago. This, carrier, or I think they're carrier, yeah, they're a carrier. They lost so much money because of a broker's lie. But the problem is the broker lied over the phone. Something I encourage all of you to do. We as a company have not had a single claim. And the reason is because I get everything in writing. No matter what it is, if I don't have it in writing, I'm not doing anything. Right? It can be for reefers the temperature discrepancy. If it's, for example, for a flatbed, they say no tarp, put it in writing. If it's not in the rate confirmation, put it in writing. Because if something happens, I need to make sure that I'm going to point at you and you have your errors and omissions insurance to cover your butt. Put everything in writing. Don't ever trust anyone on the phone. Receipts, receipts, receipts. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. I think a lot of the market data is still helpful for box trucks. It's just the general market data. I just can't get as specific for box trucks, unfortunately. Mustafa, I did not. Oh, Transport King did. Yes, okay, that's true. Coyote. Coyote used to be my go-to broker. I used to love them, but this was in 2021 when I loved all brokers. Coyote used to be my go-to. I built an incredible relationship with, I think his name was Nick, until he messed up big time. And since then, first of all, they don't negotiate. I mean, yeah, there were several brokers that I used to rely on a lot. Uber was one of them. Convoy, I really liked. Coyote, who Performance Logistics. I think it was Performance Logistics, the guys that always had loads from St. George, Utah, going to Washington, cheese loads. I built, I worked my butt off to build rapport with them. But obviously that ended when the market turned. Yeah, so many of them have the worst attitudes. Yeah, it's, you know what? In tomorrow's video, you'll see I don't even talk about price gouging. Let's forget price gouging for a second. It's about the lack of professionalism. It's absolutely insane to me. Chill Silk, how does the trucking industry work? That's a big question. Can you narrow it down for me? Where am I from? I live in California. There are some lumber fees that are higher than the line haul. Absolutely. And the worst part is that now more and more brokers, like if you let's say you're delivering to a place and there's a lumper fee and you ask the broker for a comp check, they will charge you for that comp check. Where was I? Oh, it just skipped everywhere. Um, so why do I not provide dispatcher services? Time. It's just time. I mean, a part. dispatching is one of the main parts of my job in terms of dispatching my own fleet, but you have to understand I also do all the back office for 2 companies. I have YouTube, I have a ton of things going on, and um I will not be responsible for someone else's business unless I know I can do 110% a good job. And right now, I don't think I'd be able to take on any more carriers, additional carriers, because of time. Super chat. Was that by Daryl? I responded to you, Daryl, about the done and whatever it is called. Yeah, I would get it. I would get it. It's a great way. It's like if you use what is it called? What is that credit thing called? Where you check your own credit, your personal credit. It helps you understand who's making inquiries into your credit, how your credit score is affected. Yeah, I would get that number. Have I? Oh, have I ever used Uber Freight for a load? Yeah, there was a time where I depended on them heavily, especially for the drive in. There was a time where Uber was my go to because they pay fast without any fees. They always had loads at that time. Uber is now on my doo doo list. I don't want to work with them anymore. Mm, 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 mm. Hi, Think Freight. Maybe safety score. Yeah, no, it's not the safety score. That's a good point, but it's not the safety score. Again, tomorrow you'll see how it works in the video tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting one, and it does have a little bit. It's a venting video. I'm not even going to lie. It's a venting video, but there is a lesson there for a lot of carriers. There was a lesson for me too during these experiences. It's not the safety score. In my opinion, it's pure laziness. Hi, the right way to track. I love it. You know what I'm realizing? It's an interesting pattern. I see the hearts coming in. They come in huge numbers the moment I start venting about brokers. I think we're all fed up, huh? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, we're all fed up. I agree. I understand you guys. We're on the same boat for sure. Mm. Oh, I'm so glad you made it, Think Freight. Daniel Ross, exactly. Isn't that the weirdest thing? Someone from the brokerage tells you, and in the nastiest way possible, that we're not going to work with you. You call back, and all of a sudden, they not only can work with you, but they can negotiate with you and give you a great rate per mile compared to what was posted on the. Makes no sense, but it's a waste of the carrier's time. I need to stop talking about brokers, otherwise, I'm going to just start yelling, and I don't think there's anyone working today, but still. Mhm. Yeah, Dmitry, see, yeah, I also really enjoy Molo Solutions. They have always been extremely pleasant and very fair. There was never, I can't think of a single time where they said something along the lines of, oh, I wish I could give you more, but I don't have any more. They always negotiate. And it's a fair rate, usually, relatively. You dislike TQL? Yeah, no, I know. Sometimes they'll have a good load if you are patient enough. Something I realized with TQL, if you wait for a while and the load is going to a crappy area, you can negotiate the crap out of that load, especially if it's coming close to the time of pickup because they start realizing that no one wants that load. But for that, you have to consider, of course, the deadhead to get out of that crap market. There's always a way, right? There's always a way. Ryan gives good rates. You mean Ryan RTS, Ryan Transportation Services, or Ryan the RYAAN? Because in my experience, Ryan always has an excuse of they post a crap rate that's slower than everywhere else, at least in my experience. And they always say that this is the max. This is all we have. It's impossible to negotiate with them. Ryan Transportation Services, RTS, the ones that I have the fuel card from, they are so. I mean, sometimes they'll have a good rate, again, depending on the time and where the load is going. Bijan Said, I don't trust your analysis. You're hired by big company from government. I'm not hired by a big company from government, my friend. I have my own company, two companies. But thank you for the compliment. I wish that people, you know, thought I was that smart to hire me, government hiring me. No, I have my own two companies. That is funny. Uh, Circle Logistics. Yeah, Circle Logistics. There were certain loads where they were pleasant, they negotiated, but for the most part, mm, no, not really. Trying to think. The only broker I can think of that I really enjoy working with at the moment is Molo, but they don't have a lot of loads, unfortunately. Of course, Kenyon. Thank you for being here. Coyote is okay for flatbed. Yeah, I try to stay away from them because I mean, I'm the kind of person I give people the benefit of the doubt, but the moment they let me down, I have a hard time trusting them again, and that's what happened with Coyote. Where was I? Thank you, Kevin. Broker phone lines always advise that they're recording you. Yeah, I would say record them too. Just make sure to tell them that you're recording them, right? Because a lot of states have a two-party consent law. So make sure you tell them this call is being recorded, like I did if you remember my booking loads video. I'm recording this call for educational purposes. And one guy is like, wait, what? But yeah. No, in your home country. Chill. Oh, I'm half Ukrainian, half Georgian, but I live in California. Brokers behave completely different on a flatbed. You know what? Brokers behave very different the moment they realize that there's not enough capacity to cover all those loads, which I don't, yeah. I remember how, I mean, I was naive beyond belief. In 2021, I really thought that I'm building these amazing relationships with brokers. And now I realize that I wasn't building anything. They were just so desperate that they would have said anything for me to grab their load. Does it remind you of anyone? uh, yeah, for sure. There are excuses galore why they can't work with you. Mm, once you open the gates to lease on drivers, I'll still be dispatching myself and my coworker. Um, but I'm still working out the details because I don't have experience leasing on. So I'm trying to figure out, for me, the most important thing is that everything is transparent, right? This is the point of this whole channel. This is why I show our performance every single month. You show me another carrier who does that. um, yeah, I just need to make sure it's extremely transparent because for me, building that trust is very important with our team. Mm, I have one reefer in Tampa, Florida. What lane will be good? Driver wants to spend weekends at home. Tampa, Florida is an interesting market. I would have to check. Do you want to send me an email? I'll double check. I'll double check and see what lanes are coming out of there. But weekends at home on a reefer, that's tough. Am I thinking of getting Tesla semis? Absolutely not. I like Tesla cars very much. And again, as I said before, I admire Elon Musk very much, but I don't believe in the Tesla semi at the moment. Credit Karma, that's the one. Credit Karma. I was thinking, what is that thing that checks your personal credit score? Molo phones are always busy with music. 100%, 100%. But when you get someone on the phone, they're pretty good. Hi, Pedro. Mm, yeah, the chat, I made it, I put in slow mode because otherwise I'm going to miss everyone's question. It usually goes so fast. And even now in slow mode, I'm having a hard time. Um, yeah. So trying to answer all questions. Can fleet setting contract prices influence the market? Interesting question. I know that the contract market is influenced by the spot market. It's just that the contract market does not change as quickly as the spot market does. For example, carriers, and this is something that I was watching, and I forgot what I was watching. Carriers who negotiated their contracts in May of 2022, the time where already the market started deteriorating, they had the highest rates until May 2023 this year when they got renegotiated. And now, as of May, these carriers are, I mean, they're feeling the push of what the spot market has been going through. Basically, if the spot market goes like this, the contract market will also go like that, just much, much later. Does that make sense? Yeah, I agree. Not all big brokers are not paying good rates, but I agree. The bigger the broker, the more they don't care about relationships at that point. Like a broker like TQL, they don't care. They have so many carriers in their system, they don't need to build relationships with anyone. But a smaller broker, it would be wise if they cared about relationships. And a lot of them do. Where am I? RBK, I saw your comment that you you wanted to spam, but it's not going to happen, my friend. Don't spam. Thank you so much, you guys. Do you use I use DAT Power. Thank you, 1 to 3, Jay. Exactly. I agree. Fresh Freight is my favorite broker. I've worked with them a few times, but I don't remember the rates they gave. I wish I did. So here's my opinion. Shippers get revenge now, but when the available trucks shrink to, yep, oh yeah, 100%, right? I was joking with my business, was it my business? Yeah, I think it was my business partners. I was joking that I'm ready to quit this industry. The only thing that's keeping me in it is to see and hear the brokers suffer when the market turns, because I'm going to shake them for whatever and everything they've got. Yeah. It's not true. That's not my only motivation, but I like to say that. Because right now I feel like for over a year they have been just it's not even the rates. Honestly, it's not the rates. It's a big part of it. It's the attitude. I don't do well with bad attitude. Mm, it just skipped. Excuse me, guys, for a minute. Um, okay. I just skipped somewhere and I don't know where I am. Ugh. Mode transportation, worked with them as well, but I don't. Oh, sorry. Yeah, mode transportation, I don't remember their rates. JS, RTS. Yeah, RTS is okay. It's Ryan, Ryan. That doesn't negotiate at all. Haters gonna hate for sure. Mm, 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 mm. Hi, CMZ, welcome. My thoughts on self-driving trucks. I I don't like the idea at all. I don't think we are technologically advanced enough to get rid of people in that regards. Just no. Sorry guys, if I'm skipping over your questions because I already made a oh, someone passed by. Hope he doesn't mind being on video. I already answered that question. Let's see. How's the TQL boycott going? I don't think they're being boycotted as much anymore from the speed at which their loads get covered. Yeah, they're not getting boycotted. Let's see, we have about 15 minutes. We have about, we have about to just to write a funny comment. 15 minutes. Let me try to move faster to get to all of your guys's questions. I keep saying I'm going to move faster and just um, okay, boycott. CH Robinson are mainly dry loads. So actually, I have never worked with CH Robinson. I tried once, and I remember I tried to negotiate with them, and they just refused. Very much like RYAAN transportation, not RTS. I don't do well with that. The moment you don't want to negotiate is the moment that you're no longer on my list of brokers to call, because that is just that's not business. It's not fun. Dirty jokes, yes. Can you take RMC for dispatch? What do you mean? Oh, I don't dispatch at this point, at this time, I do not dispatch outside carriers. I think that's what you meant. Uh, you haven't pulled for TQL over 10 years. Wow. Can I help you get a DOT and MC number? I don't do that anymore because I created a carrier course which teaches you everything. But if you want to send me an email, I have people to recommend depending on what type of equipment you're operating. Shoot me an email, talkabouttrucking@gmail.com. You never had a broker say they can't work with me? Yeah, with you, sorry. Yeah, no, I had several instances just in the past month. Again, I'll share it with you guys on the video tomorrow that I'll upload. How did I get into the trucking industry? I not by choice. My family had the idea of getting into the trucking industry, and they asked me for help to open the company. I was a recruiter, a fashion recruiter. I didn't know anything about the trucking industry, but as I started helping, I got very interested in it. So that's how I got into it. Stavros, you know what? Send me an email because I'll have to look through my list of brokers and see the notes I have on them. But send me an email and I'm happy to recommend brokers on the East Coast that I have worked with. There's a direct shipper there. There's a direct shipper in Pennsylvania. What is their name? Send me an email and I will find their name for you. It's actually in my video, How to Find Direct Shippers. There is a direct shipper in Pennsylvania for a reefer that posts their loads on the load board. If you're a flatbed, run Southern Lanes, 100%. Agreed. Hi, LPH Enterprises. Thank you. You've been working on your tan this year? Yeah, I stay out of the sun. Can't you tell? I'm transparent like a ghost. Duh, 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 duh. Where did it go? It just skipped again. Yes, FMCSA does require proof of insurance. If you're talking about activating your MC, your insurance company has to send the proof of insurance to the FMCSA so they can activate your authority. And you have to, by law, keep in your truck Form MCS 90. It's not enough to just have a certificate of insurance. If you get stopped by a DOT officer, you have to show the insurance on the Form MCS 90. So get that from your insurance. I think that's what the question was about. Thank you for the compliments, you guys. I appreciate it. I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to go to the bottom of the chat because we have like 13 minutes left and I want to just get to the people I didn't. Let's see. Another scammer is JB Hunt. Oh yeah. So with JB Hunt, there is, I'm sure all of you know this. The way to get them to increase their rates, actually right now, one of my guys is on a JB Hunt load. The way to get them to increase their rates is to bid at the last minute. That's the way JB Hunt increases their rates. Fuel is free, money grows on trees, 100%. I agree. Oh, Lord. Hi, Jovan. Welcome. Dimitri, I suspected TQ. Oh, you suspended TQL. You called them a gigantic parasitic rat. Love it. They can be. They can be for sure. What about if all drivers go on strike? Look, if all drivers, theoretically speaking, if all drivers went on strike, then rates would go up. But the problem is there's no way they'll all go on strike. The moment, let's say that even, a couple of thousand go on strike, rates start increasing, everyone, there's no, um, what is the word? Like feeling of being a team in this industry, at least from what I hear. There's no such thing anymore. So the moment rates start increasing, they'll rush in and it's not going to change anything. Does that make sense? I know it sucks to hear, but JS, sometimes they ask for 50 loads hauled. Sometimes it's due to safety score. Yeah, correct. But the thing is, in the cases that I will mention tomorrow in the video, it's none of those. It's just it's like pure laziness. Laziness or just basing it on their own mood. Email address. Oh, thank you, Transport King. There we go. Do we hire out of California? Yeah, so W-2, yes. It's just we cannot lease on owner operators who are in California, unfortunately. And this is because of the AB5 law. Um, I do have Genesis. I do have a video on IFTA. That is the best way. Unfortunately, I can explain it. Like the IFTA, where I explained that it's like a bank every time you refuel. Yeah. Do I know of a chemical load board? I wonder, I think DAT you can filter to see only those kinds of loads. How long have I been in the trucking industry? Since 2019. Wait, what? How do you know when it's the last minute? Canada drivers went on strike and nothing changed. Yeah. See, in order for something to change, it's everyone has to go on strike. But the moment, I mean, that would be temporary. Even if everyone went on strike, it would be temporary. The moment they would all come into the market, provided that volumes stay the same, the rates would go back down again. What needs to happen is a more permanent solution, right? Or one that does not change so quickly. So either there has to be some sort of boom in consumer demand or whatnot to drive the volumes up. This is what happened in 2021. Or there has to be such a mess with people's financials in terms of trucking that they have to start closing their doors, preferably voluntarily, because voluntary revocations tend to stick more than involuntary ones. They don't get reinstated as often or not as quickly. But we're not there yet. And it's a horrible thing to say. I hate saying it, but we need capacity to decrease. Do we work with flatbed owner operators? We're looking to, absolutely. So I'm just trying to figure out the details. We are looking to lease on uh, owner operators with their own truck. If you have your own trailer, amazing. I'm just trying to figure out the details of how it will work. But yes, flatbeds, yes. Have you done any Amazon loads? I have not. I did get set up with them for our baby company when we just started. Never found a load that pays well enough. And yeah, I don't do Amazon loads. I'm in Southern California. Thank you, Solution Guys. I appreciate it. I love it too. Camaraderie. That's the word, Mitri. Yeah, there's no camaraderie in this industry, or not as much as there used to be from what I hear. Flatbed, Alexei, yeah. We need a national ad campaign. Flatbed should not be $3 per mile. Flatbed should be at least 450 per mile. That's a lot of work. And it's dangerous. Mm, 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 mm. You're in California, bless your heart. Yeah, I know. The moment people find out that I live in California is the moment they think I'm a complete idiot and they don't even think of the fact that I can't leave here yet. But I understand. I agree with you. California is a nightmare for business, let alone trucking. It's the worst state to be in. But you know what? What can you do? If you tell me you can move, well, it's not that easy. I Random looker. You're looking to lease on? Send me an email. Absolutely. Listen, I'm looking into like figuring out the details of this lease on operator business because I've never done it before. So I'm trying to figure out how to make it as transparent as possible, fair, and all of that. How to like figure it all out. Send me an email. Talk about trucking@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you guys. But yeah, we're open to leasing on at this point as long as you're not based in California and as long as you're okay never entering California, which I'm sure you would be, most of you. Thank you, Sean. Wishing you luck. There is no loads in California. And that's not true. There are a ton of loads in Southern California for reefers, a ton. And if you want to get over $3.50 per mile, you run from California to places like Washington, Oregon. Yeah. Yeah. Hazmat, I unfortunately have never hauled hazmat. So I know you have to have permits and everything, but I've never had to do that. How many trucks can or should one dispatcher handle well? It depends on the dispatcher and on your ability to multitask and your organizational skills. Me personally, I think I could handle five. Some people can handle 10, but I could handle five because I have a ton of back office to do as well. Right? If you're extremely organized, yeah, you can do 10. It also depends on when they're delivering. If they're all delivering on the same day and you have to book 10 loads on the same day, yeah, that becomes interesting. But if you manage to kind of space your clients out, good. Raphael, I do not offer mentoring, but if you have any questions, send me an email and I'll be happy to answer. Hi, Carlos. Oh, you're a neighbor from California as well. I do both, Kendall. So I track everything. I'm obsessed with numbers, so I track everything. I need to move to Florida. You know what? I think I'm not going to go to Florida. My business partner is looking to move to Florida, and we're looking to move our baby company to Florida. But I think I'm going to move somewhere to Idaho, maybe Montana. No, California definitely is not truck friendly. I've never been to Florida. I'd love to go. The only reason I wouldn't move there is because of the weather. I'd have a heart attack if I saw anything like what is it called? Tornadoes? Is it tornadoes or what are they called? Yeah, tornadoes. Have I ever used TruckLogix? Yes, I have. I tried it once and I did not like it. After using TruckLogix, that's when I found out about Airtable and that's when I built my own TMS system. I did not enjoy TruckLogix. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Dog eat dog. Mm. People in general became so, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in people in general. There's no sympathy, there's no empathy left. There's nothing left. Humanity is gone. I was actually just talking to my husband about it yesterday, and he blames social media. I don't know what it is. Hmm. Hurricanes, that's the word, hurricanes. I'm, like, forgetting words today. Hurricanes in Florida, exactly. Those are scary. Montana is so beautiful. You know what? I started watching Yellowstone. That's the thing that once, like, makes me wanna move to Montana. Oh my god, it's so gorgeous. Oh, all right, guys. We've been here for 2 hours and 5 minutes. Well, actually 2 hours. Um, yeah, social media is desensitizing people completely, right? It really is desensitizing people. We're getting fed so much stuff. Thank you, Dala Orlando, and I appreciate the compliment. We're getting so much horrific information all the time that I think that people no longer have the capacity to feel empathy. I'm located in Southern California. Anyway, guys, I am going to bounce. Thank you so much for joining me today. Amazing questions. If you have any other questions or if I didn't get to your question, please feel free to email me and I'll see you guys in the next video. And tomorrow I'll be uploading that broker video, venting video again. I know some of you enjoy it. Enjoy me losing my crap. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow. Bye.